Welcome to another faith note for today. Galatians 6 declares, "Do not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time you will reap a harvest of blessing if you don't give up. Therefore, whenever you have the opportunity, you should do good to everyone." A few summers back, I spent some of the hottest days on record in Minnesota. I went there to accomplish several things, one of which was to cut wood for my in-laws. They burn wood to stay warm during the winter. A typical Minnesota winter requires a lot of wood. The week for that particular trip was decided the year before. It turned out to be a very unusual time for cutting wood. The heat index hovered between 105 and 110 degrees. A big fundraising walk was cut short in Minneapolis that week because of the heat. It was definitely not the time to cut wood, but it was the only time that we had. And so we made the best of a difficult situation. It was a long, hot week. I jokingly said that I was the only person in Minnesota that week cutting wood. It was so hot, people slowed down as they drove by, and as you looked at their faces, you could tell that they thought that we must be crazy to be cutting wood in that kind of heat. A lot of things don't happen at the optimal or best time. It's just the way life is. As hard as we try to plan ahead, as much as we want to control the circumstances surrounding a given situation, something happens to create an additional burden that works against the very thing that we hope to accomplish. Shelter in place and COVID-19 are only the latest things to amplify the idea of poor timing. Granted, there are times when everything goes smoothly. There are times when life is predictable, routine, and ordinary. There are other times, however, when simple and predictable are far from reality. In those complicated moments, we have to adapt and persevere to achieve the desired results. Sometimes we have to settle for the best that we can achieve under the circumstances. The bottom line is that we must continue on without fretting over the way that it should have been. There are no guarantees of smooth sailing when it comes to life. For what it's worth, despite the heat that week, we were able to cut, split, and stack enough wood for them to get through the winter. Over the years, we have cut wood in the rain, in the snow, in the heat, and in the cold. We have cut when the wind creates a wind chill effect and other times when the sun shines brightly. There have been beautiful days accompanied by a warm, gentle breeze. There have been times when we have had lots of help and other times when we were low on volunteers. But what I would say to you in the midst of whatever situation you might be facing in closing, don't be discouraged. My point is this, that sometimes we have to do what needs to be done, even if the circumstances are less than optimal, even if you would defer to another time if given the opportunity. I've discovered doing the right thing is never conditional. There's never a bad time to do the right thing. Thank you for watching another Faith Note for today. See you this Friday when we join together. And until then, consider these words from 1 Corinthians. Whatever you do, do everything for the glory of God. Amen.